What up, though? Welcome to the Groundwaves Podcast, hosted by yours truly, Murs. Every episode, we share an inside look at Groundwaves Hip Hop, the nation's premier hip hop community development movement, which I founded in 2019. The movement, like this podcast, is all about mentorship, growth, and what happens when you create a safe space, but not a fake space, for hip hop to breathe. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the Groundwaves Podcast. This episode, we are interviewing my homeboy, Mega Ran. I tell you a lot about him. He tells you a lot about him in this episode. We start off telling you about the many hats he wears, but there was a feather in his cap that is now a very prominent feather that wasn't yet placed in his cap at the time of this interview. Now he is the Grammy-nominated rapper known as Mega Ran. So I wanted to place that at the beginning of this before we hopped into this episode. I also wanted to let y'all know that if you're in Chicago this week, in the year of our Lord 2026, the month of March, Groundwaves is kicking off its first official season in Chicago. Shout out to Good Chaos for making it possible. March 24th will be at Co-Prosperity, 3219 South Morgan, 5 to 9 p.m. with the open mic. Special guest, Oswin Benjamin. March 25th is Skywaves Open Ox, same venue. But we will have the legendary Twilight Tone as our guest. It's the Open Ox. Producers, pull up with your machines, your laptops, your phone. Play your bangers. Open Ox, open mic, Tuesday and Wednesday this week in Chicago, March 24th and 25th, 5 to 9 p.m. You can RSVP or you can just show up. We are a real community. Just pull up and say, hey, I'm signing the list. I want to get up and rock. That's all it takes. We would love to have you. Anyone you know that considers themselves an MC or a producer or a lover of hip hop, tell them to pull up. You don't even have to perform. Just be in community. There's free tacos and free drinks as long as they last, y'all. This month's Friday fun is ceramics. It's already full. Sorry if you missed out, but stay tuned because the next one's going to be just as amazing. We're going to do something else next month. I guarantee you it's going to blow your mind, and we'll have a lot more space on the list for this one. It's a bigger event, but Friday fun is always something free with free food and free fun. After that is Saturday, Groundwaves Overflow. Same venue, Co-Prosperity, 3219 South Morgan. Check it out. If you didn't get to bust Tuesday or Wednesday, this is a chance to rock. If you had to work or your name didn't get called, this is why we put an extra day in for you. The Overflow, Groundwaves Overflow, 6 to 9 p.m. You can still get in and get your Saturday party on afterwards. At any of these events, if you're part of the Chicago hip hop community or just doing some type of activism or anything you're doing in the community you want to let people know, come pass me a flyer. I'll announce it. If we got time, I'll let you get up there and let the people know. We want to be a part of whatever you got going on if it's positive and helping in other people and other creatives. Let us know. That brings us to Sunday, March 29th. Sunday, March 29th is Groundwaves Generations. It's a day party for all ages, 8 months to 88 years old. Please come through. Just clean hip-hop fun, not corny hip-hop fun. There we have the Chicago emerging legend, Zion Ali, rocking for us. And we will have free food. We'll have the legendary Mike D teaching us about Chicago footwork, whether it's warm or cold. We will be rocking free food, free drinks. It's amazing. The National Public Housing Museum is amazing on its own. Just come to see the museum if you don't want anything to do with the hip hop. But I don't know why you would not want to be a part of this party. 1 to 4 p.m. this Sunday, March 29th at the National Public Housing Museum. All these events are free. No need to RSVP. If you can, that's great. We just know to get more food. That said, Mega Ran, after this very interview you're about to hear, went downstairs to the National Public Housing Museum and rocked it. I mean, my homeboy Vic brought his father. So we had some OGs in the house. His wife and child were there. My 2-year-old was there. Everyone loved it. We had an amazing time. I'm only bringing the best, most dynamic performers that'll, let your family members that may not be a part of the culture know why you love this culture so much. And if you need a reminder of why you love this culture so much, Sundays are a special time. I relish it. It's a great way to end our week. So please, if you can show up to all of them, great. If you can show up to one of them, that's cool. If you can't make it to any and you're listening to this and you're in Siberia or you're somewhere else, please make it a point to visit the wonderful city of Chicago. And if you could do so during the last week of any month between March and September, you will catch a Groundwaves event. It's free and it only enhances the beauty and the amazingness that is Chicago already. So that is done. That's my spiel. Now, Mega Ran, the Grammy-nominated MC, is about to tell y'all about Nerdcore and his journey, his culture, his community, his come up. Check it out. 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 Welcome to Groundwaves.
This place is amazing, first of all.
Yeah, we're in the National Public Housing Museum. We haven't said that on any of the podcasts.
This place is awesome. If you are ever in Chicago, you got to come by here. It's kind of got to be seen to be believed. It's really awesome. So much space, so much history.
Thank you for mentioning that. I'm with my friend Mega Ran.
Hey.
I think we're going, maybe I don't know if we made it to 20 years, but at least double digits.
Double digits for sure.
And we've decided now that this podcast is going to be about the culture, community, and the come up.
I like it. The 3 C's.
Yeah, I didn't watch this dude come up. And yeah, I am with author, streamer, gamer, father, husband, teacher. Am I missing one?
Rapper?
I was going to get that.
Okay, we'll get
the
to
final thing. Because I want to know, my kids are my kids, so they're nerd kids.
Yeah.
And so when we found, we have all kind of Pokemon battle rap stuff we listen to that's made by people who I don't even consider MCs, but they know their stuff and they can make words rhyme. And my kids enjoy it because they're really into Pokemon.
The Pokemon rap scene is huge. I didn't even realize that till I got on a Pokemon cipher one day, and then it was oh, now it's got 1 million streams. I'm like, wait, what? Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm a parent. I'm like, yo, if you can rap about Pokemon and I don't have to hear them talk about Pokemon. But are you the Rakim of Nerdcore, the Nas of Nerdcore, or the Black Thought of Nerdcore?
Oh, okay. I'm glad you didn't say the Cool Herc of Nerdcore, because it definitely existed before me. I didn't put it together.
You just outclass. You're a better MC. A lot of them are nerds first. You're an MC first.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
And so when you're on a song with somebody, I'm like, hey, and that's not I'm being biased. I'm not even looking for you. I'm just looking for some nerd rap to play for my kids. And then I'm like,
and then you're like, oh yeah,
there's some good. It just cuts through. It's oh,
thank you. That means a lot.
So I've texted you and told you you blew the doors off.
I get that a lot from my homies too. I'm not gonna lie. The song was alright, but you went crazy.
And Eminem murdered you on your own.
Okay, I like the Rakim analogy. Rakim's probably one of my heroes as far as rapping. My name's Raheem. His name's Rakim. I used to try to call myself the R when I started off. I was like, he's retired, right? I can use that.
Yes, don't let that go to waste.
People were like, nah. I mean, look, there's a little Nas X, a little R. I don't know. I was like, I'm gonna be the R. And then my homie's like, you can't be the R. And I was like,
good friends.
Okay. So then I started finding other names. But Rakim, yeah, I think because of what Rakim brought to, or kind of ushered in, I guess what people consider a golden age of rap, that 86 to 88, where people were like, oh, it's not just I went to the hat store and bought a hat. It's let me get into some true intricate lyrical dexterity on these tracks. And so, yeah, people kind of point out to me yo, but you be rapping though. People say that to me a lot. I know it's it's nerdy, but you be rapping, So I like the Rakim analogy. I do like that. I mean, respect to Rakim. I mean, just, the God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I like that.
All right. So we are talking to the Rakim of Nerdcore. And the most infuriating thing I've experienced, because now I've shit on a lot of Nerdcore rappers. And I don't mean to do that. But this is what Groundwaves. I didn't tell you about Groundwaves. When we do the open mic, you can get a chant that says, thank you, come again.
Oh,
because
that's when you had enough. Yeah,
if you didn't come, we respect everybody wherever level you're at. But if you get up there and you're forgetting words or you're looking at your phone, we're not here because you caught a vibe and want to sign a list. This is a dojo. We're here to work out, and I think hip hop needs that. And then at the same time, I stand on the side of the stage and I watch. So the first person to start the chant or the loudest person has to give constructive criticism to the person on stage, because we're not going to do the internet trolling thing either. You're going to have to stand on business. So I try to bring accountability. It rarely happens. But that said, that's where my honesty comes from about you blowing the doors off of a lot of Nerdcore rappers. Simultaneously, I respect the scene because I've been to PAX East, PAX West. I'm not
right.
I go to Comic-Con when I'm on a panel. I'd be there if I wasn't.
In it. I mean, like
TwitchCon, I'm like first rapper to get a Twitch partnership. Like I can use a keyboard and mouse. I know all the Overwatch characters. I've been to a couple BlizzCons. Like you have to, they don't respect me in nerdcore rap, and that's a whole nother thing. But I fight for so when I tell people like
respect you, I don't know. I think so. I think who wouldn't respect the skill level, the storytelling, the artistry that goes into it? I think people probably look for a little more nerd than core, if you will.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like,
yeah, I'm more core than nerd.
Yeah, I think that's the balance that people kind of hold. But now there's a new generation of nerdcore artists, the Pokemon guys, for example, that are killing it on YouTube and these other spaces, and don't even know about myself, MC Frontalot, MC Lars, whoever. Chris.
Ooh, no Lars, no Frontalot?
Yeah, it's a whole other...
MC Chris?
Yeah, they'd be like, who that?
If you don't know Fet's Vet, like that's like the Paul Revere of nerdcore to me. Like it's one of those ones. Like,
yo, for real. No, it really is.
Cruising Mos in my DeLorean. War's over on my piece of Mandalorian. The story is some Star Wars historians. Deep in debate, but they play at Bennigan's. Rhyme renegade, sure to penetrate. First and second defense, I won't hesitate. Got a job to do, endorse the guy that delegates. Got something against Skywalker, someone he really hates. I don't give a fuck, I'm after solo. For all I carry, could be behind at Yoda's dojo. Gotta make the money, credit's no good. When the job was run a shop in your neighborhood. Think you can cook, I got a grappling hook. Let's make this quick, cause I'm really booked. I'm a devious degenerate defender of the devil. Shoving all the trash compactors on the detention level. My backpacks got jets, well I'm Boba, well that fat, well that bounty hunt.
But there's these new cats that are 18, with 500,000 subscribers who have just been born on the internet, you know what I'm saying? Who have just been constantly dropping.
And that's not being born on the internet as an MC in the nerdcore community is not the same kind of diss it is to say you were for a regular rapper.
Correct.
Because you're a nerdcore. Like you're supposed to be on tech, and you know what I mean?
You're supposed to be on it. Like so, they're all like they have their Discord communities where they're just like so locked in and tapped in with their community that they don't need. We complain about the algorithms and the social media not showing our stuff, and it's like I got my people right where I need them. And I can mobilize them. New song, new drop, let's go, So like they've mastered the technology side of this because they've been born into it. Like the bane of this, Well,
so I guess what I want to say, I'm pro nerdcore, and when I mention it to other rappers, they have no idea what I'm talking about.
Really?
And I'm like, oh, I'm bringing Mega Ran out. Who? And I was like, oh, he's a big deal. What?
And they're like, I never heard of him.
I was like, well, nerdcore, like he's big. What's that?
What's that?
And then I explained to him like, word?
Like that's a thing?
Yeah, and I'm like, no, it's a legitimate thing that deserves, because you're not the only dope person in nerdcore.
No,
that's not what I'm saying. But I guess we'll start. So this is the community part of it. What is nerdcore? And you can give us a little history, like who is the cool herc of nerdcore? What is nerdcore? Why is it necessary? Why does it deserve the respect that we both give it?
Man, it's a lot of places you can start. Depending on kind of who you ask, just like hip hop, where things were regional, things were going on in different places, different corners of the internet in this case. But MC Frontalot would be widely considered the godfather of nerdcore.
You are likely to be eaten by a group. If this predicament seems particularly cruel, consider whose fault it could be. Now the torture a match in your inventory. You are likely to be eaten by a group. If this predicament seems particularly cruel, consider whose fault it could be. Now the torture a match in your inventory. It got narrated at you in the second person. Every time you put it up, it seems true.
And so highly inspired by Bay Area hip hop coming up, but also was like a nerd. He was coding, he was doing all types of other things, and he would put that into his music. So he made a song about text-based role-playing games, things like that. And people were like, what is this? And it kind of took the internet by storm, and for a while he said he would like not show his face. Like he was very mysterious, but like in a tongue-in-cheek way. Like he'd take a picture of Biggie Smalls and blur and put a thing over the eyes. And like, that's MC Frontalot. And then he'd take a picture of Weird Al and blur his eyes. I'm like, now it's MC Frontalot wearing a flowery shirt. You know what I mean? Like it was just a big joke. But when I listened to the music, I could see the skill. I could see the inspiration. Like it was very funky. He has a song called Old Man Clyde about Clyde Stubblefield. You know what I mean? So being able to like educate the nerdy cats about how he was nerdy about drumming, and stuff like that.
What's that?
The sound of the funky drummer. The sound of the funky drummer.
So I was like, this dude's different, you know what I mean? And just a quirky kind of on-beat, off-beat flow and persona that really kind of blew the doors off. So he was rapping at PAX. That was kind of where he started. He did this thing on the internet called Song Fight, where he would put up a song every week to compete, and he kept winning. And so the prize was play at PAX or something like that.
What year was this?
This was probably 01, maybe.
I had no idea what a PAX was.
Yeah, this is some of the first. I think PAX just hit 20 or 25
Okay,
years.
so PAX is a video game conference.
Penny Arcade Expo started off as a web comic that just blew up. And then they were like, you know what? We like games. We like tabletop. Let's get everybody together and have the Penny Arcade Expo. And then that got bigger and bigger. And so video game companies were like, well, can we exhibit at the Penny Arcade Expo? And like, absolutely. Nintendo, Sony, whoever. And it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. So yeah, they're on, I believe, 20, 25 years now. So yeah, Front a Lot was doing his thing. MC Chris, maybe around the same time. I believe he's from here, actually, from Chicago. But I believe he went to college in New York and started writing songs. Childish Gambino was at school with him as well. He said I think they have a couple songs together that they recorded in the dorms. Yeah. Oh, you didn't know any of this?
No.
Yeah. So yeah, Chris started off, I think it was NYU or something like that. And Donald Glover was there with him. And I think they got a couple songs out of that.
Is it really that bad that my clothes is tight? That I hydrate babes like Pedialyte? That I stay rock hard like a meteorite? Thought your homeboy here was an idiot, right? Well, you thought wrong. I got flavor. I rock shows with the blue lightsaber. I hit dimes but also day 80s. I make moves blow up like Al-Qaeda. I mean kicks that you can't buy it. Your kicks okay like your name Wyatt. Care Bear clockers, pink highlighters. Haters wanna snatch my heat like firefighters. Boys out there thinking just like me. No, y'all funny. Y'all from UCB. Y'all standing in line, I'm in VIP. Y'all know shit about me like TIP. Ha!
You think your voice 40 minutes kinda hilarious. I'm the rapper making all you in the shatter in your area. I'm like a dental joke cause I'm a little loquacious. I do it for the hottest of the body's bodacious. Some high pitch might flip you this my nose. Think Chris ain't the shit, you can kiss my choke. Kick ass sales not too.
And then Chris went to Atlanta. Is that how he hooked up with Adult
Yeah,
Swim?
had the very unique voice and went to Atlanta, and they were like, oh man, cartoons, you need to get in here. You need to do something. MCP Pants was born of Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and then Fet's Vet. And then that started, for him, where he was already writing songs, but it just it blew up. We got to a really unique audience, the Adult Swim audience.
I want candy, bubblegum and taffy. Skip to the sweet chocolate, my sweetheart Sandy. Got my penny safe, so I'm a sugar daddy. I'm a Hugh Clone, she my Jessica Candy. I want candy. Put it in a pile, split it with my bitty, 50-50 down the line. Kinda like close encounters at the cavity kind. I'm talking licorice, kisses, talking chocolate.
Was he aware of Front a Lot? Were they friends? Did they have beef?
I'm not sure. I think there was some early beef.
Woo! I want to get that song. Let me get the Front a Lot ether.
I don't know if Front actually would engage, but I feel like Chris was about that action. There was moments, like all the top guys at some point have had some kind of, it's beef, it's rap,
It's rap.
So the top guys all want to be the only top guy. And Chris even brought to me, he said one day, because we toured together, and he was like, man, we were gatekeeping so much in the beginning because we all wanted to be the first guy to break through and make Nerdcore legit, to make Nerdcore real. And so interviews we would do, and I see this happen a lot. The interviewer says, what else are you listening to? Who else is in Nerdcore? And they're like, oh, it's just me. I don't listen to anybody else. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Doing
dang.
that, closing that door. Because I don't want them to see that there's other people doing this. This is my thing, He didn't call his stuff Nerdcore. that was Front a Lot's word. He made up Nerdcore because he just wanted a name for what he was doing. And so Front a Lot said to me once, we did a panel, I think at South by, and he was like, you know how rappers are usually the coolest person in the room? Like, you look at that guy, you're like, yeah, he's a rapper, he gets down. He's like, Nerdcore is the opposite of that. You look at the guy like, he definitely ain't rapping. He definitely ain't good. You know what I mean? And you see him, and the next thing you know, he gets on stage and he's doing the quirky moves and he's rapping. So to him, Nerdcore wasn't cool. You know what I mean? It was rap for kids who weren't cool. Now, with YouTube and stuff, I was like, now it's cool. And I credit a guy named Richie Branson for that.
Richie, representing for the principality of Zion. Killing all these rappers with a flow colder than Freon. Yeah, I'm prime time with it like Dion. Richie trying to shine like that beam saber neon. Yeah, I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. These rappers taking shots shots. What you thought I wouldn't notice, you them shots you taking. I suggest you focus on them photo shoots before you make me hop into that Zaku mobile suit. Find out where you are and charge with max velocity and spit a launch.
But I credit a guy like that because he was like, yo, I can be a nerd and talk about my nerdy beginnings, but I dress fly and I get girls. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's where it started to change. And I feel like Richie's the captain of the maybe second or third generation.
Once you're in hip hop, like our basis is street culture, which predates hip hop, because you know Zulu Nation, Spades, Black Spades. If you know your history, like those were gangs. So I would say like MC Chris, as we're doing this lineage, and Front a Lot are the Godfathers, and then Richie Branson and you are OGs. Like you guys have been in for a while. You're not the Godfathers, but you're capos. You're
capos. Okay.
Yeah, like you're OGs. Like okay, like so when I say Richie Branson's OG, like he's
OG.
Funny thing about MC Chris is so like and that's why I was a little butthurt that I don't get embraced by the nerdcore community.
You too cool. You too cool.
Yeah,
for us.
but I'm not cool. Like I'm the least cool on the hip hop side.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's stuck in the middle.
Yeah, I'm like too black for the white kids and too white for the black kid. Like
story of our lives.
Like yeah, and so that's what I'm saying. So when I met you, I'm like, oh, this is like the 5%. So like this is my A alike. Well, I was like, oh, but when I go in your hood into the nerdcore hood, I get no respect.
I took Open Mike Eagle on a tour and he said the same thing. I was like, yo, we going to Comic-Con, you going to love it. And he was like, I don't think they love me here. Like he did not feel what I was telling him he was going to feel. He's like, but I like everything they like. They like pro wrestling, they like games, they like comics, but I still don't feel like I belong. And I was like, I don't know how to place it.
I will leave the floor in PAX and go into like I've been to your shows, same as like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll be like, oh, I'll be looking at my schedule, like, oh, I'm going to go check the homies out. And I'll go in that room where there's actually rapping and nobody cares. And then I'll go back to the floor and I'm taking pictures. And then I'll be like, oh, do you want to go see Mega Ran with me? Thinking that you're at Comic-Con and you're a fan of mine, so that means you like hip hop. You know it. These are some of the people that I'm surprised when I go, there's Nerdcore. They're like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, I've seen you at Comic-Con 5 years in a row.
Yeah.
You don't know who MC Front a Lot is? Like, you don't know anything about They're like, no, but I know your stuff. Hip-hop is separate from their nerddom. I meet people at the comic shop and they don't know who you are. And I'm like, how? You know,
it's very separate.
So like there are hip-hoppers who are nerds that don't mix the two. And then the people who do mix the two don't respect someone like me or don't love someone like me and Open Mike Eagle.
Yeah, it's very odd to me because I'm like, yo, they would love you if they sat down and listened. And that's why I love the entry point for me when I'm introducing them to you or Mike or anybody is when they say like, yo, I don't usually like rap, but like, you're dope. I like you, you know? And I'm like, I used to take that as a diss. It's kind of a backhanded way of saying like, that other stuff is trash, but you are right.
Yeah.
You know, it's a weird thing. But I use that as a teaching moment to be like, oh, then you never heard MF Doom. You never heard Dell. You never heard Murs. You never heard A$AP Rock. Like, are you like, I get to put you on right now. So I'm excited because I'm like, yo, there's nerds that have been doing this.
Yeah.
So they didn't feel that they were approachable enough for whatever reason. Probably because they're, saying fuck on a record. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know
My thing is like, I'm rapping about playing Pokemon. On Murs Rules the World in the year 2000, I'm rapping about the death of Optimus Prime and crying. And I just realized, I just read like Robert Kirkman just started writing Transformers. This is how much of a nerd I am. Transformers 25 drop, it switched from Daniel Warren Johnson writing it to Robert Kirkman writing. And his outro, he was saying he cried when he watched Optimus Prime die. Like, and I was like, I put that in a rap.
Yeah, you literally put it in a rap.
I was the first rapper to mention the word Pokemon in a rap. 1999, 2000. I recorded a song in 99, came out in 2000.
The curse of being ahead of your time.
And I'm like, I'm rapping about playing my Game Boy, the Pokemon Blue, on a flight to Japan to buy Fire Pro Wrestling on Dreamcast.
Oh my God, you're speaking my language.
We were chipping our Dreamcast, me and A$AP, rest in peace. And so to me, not to be respected, like we were buying manga and anime and Doraemon and all these things.
That's
like we were black
crazy.
nerds in Japan in 1998, 1999.
1 minute we cool, the next they want a battle. That's why I'm only trusting two, and that's me and my shadow. All the company I need when I'm out on my travels, playing Pokemon on planes. Penning pure poetry, a product of pressure and pain. Audibly angelic, partially prophetic with these underground expressions. So you gotta give me credit as I accumulate your interest. My style been relentless since the days I hop in fence.
And then when this culture starts, I'm like, I'm one of you guys.
You're like, yo, I'm with you.
Like I used to rent Bow from Blockbuster Video when there was only Fist of the North Star and like those days. And so, but anyway, so I was in MC Chris early. when I heard Fet's Vet, I was like, oh my God, my backpack's got Jet on both. Like, I know the whole song. I heard he was performing at the Knitting Factory in LA. I went to the show and I knew the security guards because at that time I was kind of on the rise as a thing. So I was selling out shows at the Knitting Factory. The staff knew me and they thought I was there for the R&B night. And it was sold out. And they're like, it's sold out. I was like, I know. I just tried to buy a ticket and they told me I couldn't get in. And they're like, oh, we'll get you in. You want to come to this? And they opened the door and let me in. Chris stops the show. He's like, there's a black person here.
Yeah. Not like, yo, that's Murs. No,
he had no idea who I was. This is my first awakening.
Oh God, I'm glad I never heard this before today. Yeah.
He's like, sir, please don't assault me or hate me for what I'm doing to your culture.
Yo,
my respect grew for him, but the fact that he didn't know who I was like, because not that I'm not a famous rapper, but I'm a nerdy rapper.
Come on, yeah.
But so he has no idea who I am, so that was a blow to my ego. But then the fact that he stopped, I was like, okay, so at least you respect, because he let all the white people in the crowd know, like, this is not our thing. We are guests.
Wow, that's dope. I mean, it's a little awkward.
Yeah,
I'm sure the whole crowd is now a whole sold out crowd turns around and look at you. hey, black person. Yo,
and I don't know if he said the words, there's a black guy, but he stopped everything. Was like, yo, please don't hate me for what like I do with your culture.
I mean, the acknowledgement is dope.
Like, I buy hella merch. I just come to buy merch and like nerd out and like everyone else, because I didn't know where to get his music. All I knew was Fet's Vet. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm coming to buy CDs. I'm coming to buy DVDs, whatever you got. I need more MC Chris in my life. But that was my first experience.
What a story.
So, okay, so we have Front a Lot, we have Chris.
A little after that is Lars. He's kind of their younger progeny.
MC Lars, shout out to him.
It's 2006, the consumer still pissed. Won't take it anymore, so I'm writing a list. Don't try to resist this paradigm shift. The music revolution cannot be dismissed. 1898, Iggy Pop CD. What if I can get it from my sister for free? It's all about marketing, Clive Davis C. If fans buy the shirt, then they get the MP3. Music was a product, now it is a service. Major record labels, why are you trying to hurt us? Fix up in my face like, don't steal our songs, Lars. Well, Sony sells the burners that are burning CDRs. So Warner, EMI, hear me clearly. Universal Music, update your circuitry. They sue little kids downloading hit songs. They think that makes sense when they know that it's wrong. Hey,
Lars says he heard Nerdcore in a different sense. He heard it because there was a band called Nerf Herder from Oxnard, and they called their music Nerdcore for Oxnard. And they were kind of nerdy. It was,
I guess we have to see that. And then when you and I start talking, this is when we have to translate. Nerf Herder is significant for nerd culture because Scruffy Nerf Herder was what was it? Leia called Luke a scruffy little Nerf herder in Star Wars in the first one.
You stuck up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder.
So for us, when we hear it, we automatically know.
You're like, oh,
there's some shit. Everyone else is like, why is
like
Nerf?
What? But yes,
so Nerf Herder made Nerdcore.
They said Nerdcore, and then so Lars thinks that maybe just in the process of words translating and moving through the world as they do, somebody was like, oh, you make Nerdcore, because they don't know Nard, they don't know Oxnard or anything. So they may have misheard them and started addressing their music as Nerdcore.
So there's hardcore punk.
Yes.
So they were probably making a play on hardcore when they made Nerdcore. Which, whoo, goodness.
Yeah. So 2005 was Lars's first release. So 2005, he tours with Chris, does some songs with them.
Whoa, MC Chris put on MC Lars?
Yeah, and then they had a beef.
Oh!
People be beefing.
Was there, was there a fight?
No, nerds don't fight. Come on.
I just had to check. I didn't want to be a stereotypical
I'm
asshole.
trying to picture. Come on.
I didn't want to be a dick.
You've seen Chris. You've seen Lars. Come on.
But that fight
you imagine them throwing hands? No throwing hands. It was just a lot of, backhanded stuff online and things like that.
Someone called someone a scruffy Nerf herder.
Something like that. I didn't even know they had a beef until Lars actually mentioned it. He's so honest to a fault. So he mentioned it on a song. He said, I wish I could have done a song with MC Chris or something. Or if I went back in time, I would have realized MC Chris was going to ask me for $1,000 to get on a video and a song or something like that. So he took a shot about it, just being honest about what had happened with the relationship.
That's why the beef doesn't go to fights, because nerds are very
we're just too honest.
I'm upset because you charged me for a video. I thought we were friends.
Yeah, and there we go. So later, I guess they squash it. Nerdcore starts moving through the internet through these message boards. There's a forum that had, forget the old name, but now it was then changed to Nerdcore now because there was a lot of infighting in message boards, as it goes sometimes, and it just blew up. And then it resurfaced as Nerdcore now, which is where all the young cats would put their music up. And I felt like you there because I would put my music in there and they would be like, this guy's kind of sound like a poser. I don't know. This isn't really. Like,
okay, so yeah, so let's know now. That's what put the person. What year is this? Nerdcore.
07.
Okay, so 07. Let's go back. Now we're with Raheem Jarbo.
Yes, and I'm just born in Philadelphia, West Philadelphia, born and raised.
Legitimately?
No. But the part of my town is called West Oak Lane, so it's close enough.
Okay.
So people think it's West Philly, but it's like Northwest. So yeah, I was born in Philly, product of hip hop, video games as well. Like, I feel like they were both coming up at the same time as I was. In the 80s were a special time for rap and video games. Like, I clearly remember playing Space Invaders in the house, coming outside, hearing, My Philosophy, KRS-One, or It Takes Two, or whatever. And like, they were just almost synonymous to me, games and hip hop, for my whole life. But when I started first writing raps, I would say in the late 90s, mid 90s, with a bunch of classmates, we'd all just sit on the step, write raps, and recorded my first song at an actual studio in maybe 2000, did a demo in 05. But I immediately thought, nobody's going to want to hear this stuff.
What are you rapping about?
It was just about MCing. Like, I was very inspired by like Gangstar, Rakim, Redman, and Wu-Tang. That was kind of my thing. So like dirty, dusty beats, just bars, about how the industry sucked, even though I had never sniffed a record deal, like, we're not selling out for the man, those kind of raps. That's writing all this real hip hop. And we were very territorial about like East Coast rap. We just wanted boom bap raps. And put out a little demo called Fundamentals. I don't think anybody heard it.
What was your rap name at this point?
Random was the rap name. Random came from a comic book character, X Factor. Do you remember Random? The dude is a big dude who would, he could transform, and he wasn't very popular, but he popped up in the cartoon maybe once because all my friends were X-Men fans. So I was like, man, whatever. I'm going to find something else. So I went to X Factor. I went to X-Force, anything, Excalibur, even though that was whack. But I was just like, I'm on something else. I'm on X this. And anything else X I was on. And this dude was named Random. He could transform himself to anything using like the matter in the air. And he would be like, I'm going to transform into a gun if you need a gun. Bam. You can transform into a key to get through the door or whatever. And he wasn't that cool, but his name was cool. I was like, Random. That's what I want to be as a rapper. I want to be able to do anything. You're like, you don't know because it's random. And then in the age of the internet, we found that random was a little bit hard to Google. Random rapper could literally bring up a random rapper on a search. So not what I want to do. So then back in the day from video games being a big part of my life, mixing random with my favorite game, Mega Man, Mega Ran happened.
One of the smartest in the world, amazing advancements within the field of robotics. Money was no object, but he never felt the need to make a profit with projects. Had a best friend, Dr. Light, they could have changed the world if they stayed together. Friendly competition during the bitter rivalry, and one day it changed forever. While he felt he'd done enough, but no matter how good he was always runner-up. Got sick of second place, felt like it was Wiley's turn to start coming up. The school held a contest to show off technology and chart our progress. Wiley and Light collaborated, but Light...
When did you play Mega Man for the first time? Mega Man 1?
Okay, so Mega Man 2 was on the cover of Nintendo Power, the second issue, maybe, or third. They did a claymation, I can still see it, a claymation Mega Man with Dr. Wily on the cover. And I was like, yo, this game looks crazy. They had like the spreads and the maps. I had never played part 1, but I saw 2. And I was like, Mom, I got to get it. This game comes out on Christmas. Can I get Mega Man 2? And she's like, $50? No. And then Mega Man 1 was in the bargain bin for $19.99 though. So I was like, all right, I'll take that.
But Mega Man 1 and Mega Man, Capcom didn't make leaps.
No, the level design was better. The bosses were cooler looking. Maybe a little more color, but still, it was the same game.
So you weren't bummed?
No. I sat down with it and I loved it. But the game is hard as hell. And I just remembered at those days, you couldn't get a new game until you finished the old game. So I was just stuck on this game constantly. And then we rented Mega Man 2. And I was like, yo, the music just instantly changed my life. I was like, yo, this music.
So there's an upgrade
bangs
sonically from Mega Man 1 to Mega Man 2.
The music for sure is where I think the biggest upgrades happen. And what I loved about Mega Man, you could press pause to get a menu screen. Maybe one of the first games to have a menu screen where you hit pause and you could see all the different weapons you could choose from or whatever. And while you did that, the music still played. So if I went off to go make a sandwich, if I went off to clean my room, the joint would be paused and I could still hear the music. And so I was like, man, this music is so good. Like as I'm sweeping my floor and doing other things. And that just made me think like, I want to hear more of this. So I got my little recorder. I had this thing called a kid quarter, cassette recorder, maybe Fisher Price, I don't know. And I set it by the TV and I hit record and I would just record the soundtracks playing over and over again. Next song, bam, keep recording it. And one side of that cassette would be my video games. The other side would be rap songs from Yo MTV Raps. I'd record that too. I mean, it was poor quality, but it was whatever I could get. So Big Daddy Kane, Beastie Boys, whatever was coming on. And so it's like it was meant to be, but I didn't really see it coming. How like side A is hip hop, side B is video games. Like that's literally me.
Yeah, like you don't see like when you buy that 19, like if I can go back and like Obi-Wan Kenobi the fuck out of you, when you go to the bargain bin, and maybe you're a little bummed, like I'm not getting Mega Man 2. I'm like, but this is going to change your life.
This is going to change your life. And I'm really like, man, get out of here. You know, like that literally changed my life. And so it did. It became my path. But at that time, I didn't see it. And I would like kind of like hide it. You know what I mean? Like my friends would be like, oh, what's on that tape? And I'm like, it's rap stuff. I'd flip it to the other side. Yo, Big Daddy Kane, right? You know.
So it's like you had when you hid the porno magazine inside
yes,
of your math book.
The sports map.
Yeah.
The map.
No, Mom, I'm doing homework.
Doing homework. So
Get out of the bathroom.
That's exactly what it was. Like I was hiding it and that's where I feel like nerdcore and hip hop didn't necessarily get along, is because we felt like these two cultures had to be separate. Until I think there was a time, and I guess I could say 92, the boom of comics, where like, you know, Layfield is killing them with the pockets. And everybody was buying comics. You know what I mean? Spider-Man 1, and, oh God, there's Atomic Frost and this and that. Like the boom happened. So it was okay for everybody to be into comics.
Yes.
And rap at the same time.
Bro, yeah. I have maybe some nerds will listen to this just to let nerds know that, and I'm trying not to use the N-word because I'm in here with you. But like street, like my homie just showed me my first 10 pounds of weed and an AK-47 had a wall of all the #1 image. It was almost unfair because when dope boys in my neighborhood got into comics, I'm like, my dude, you have the foil, all the variants. He can afford everything.
The variants.
And like I hooked up with him recently. I'm like, bro, what happened to all your comics? I just gave him to some kid. I'm like, bro,
what? No!
I grew up because I used to have to buy my weed from him.
Yo.
And he was like my big homie. And I was like, oh my, I still see your wall in my mind.
The holy grail up there.
You had him because comics were hot at the time.
Yeah.
I was already into comics. And then he had everything. He had 2 Technique 1200s. He just had dope money.
Everything.
So, yeah. Along with the AK-47 and
wow. Like the duality of man.
Yeah.
The AK and the comics. So I was like, yeah, nerds, like they were like real gangsters. Like, because as we meet our wrestler, like you're one of the people, like you meet video game developers, you meet wrestlers that you've looked up to, you meet comic people. When I meet comic artists and writers who hate nerds, that was the most off-putting thing. Yes, that's just sad, actually.
And they thought I would join them in being like, I'm their cool friend. And I'm like, I want to hang out with the nerds.
I'm actually
like, I'm at Comic-Con, I was like, are we going to this party? And they're like, I was kind of hoping we would go to something.
They don't want to do that.
Me and you. And I'm like, no. Do you know who's going to be at that party? Right.
Yes. When you lose your like fandom for it, it's a sad thing to see.
All right. Now back to this. You're hiding the tape.
So yeah, I'm hiding the tape. This is middle school. So fast forward, because I didn't think it had much to do with my music career because I wasn't writing songs.
You're working on Random as an artist. You're not even thinking how Mega Man and Mega Ran rhyme. You're still just, I play my games and I rap.
Yes. And so I'm writing raps inspired by my heroes, you know, Common, LL, Chubb Rock. You know, I'm just writing everyman boom bap raps, you know, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I put out a record called The Call, did okay in Philly. And I felt like at some point, this is 2006, this came out early 2006. We do some traveling, we do a little bit of regional touring. And I just feel like I need a break. Like I'm just working really hard on this. I'm also teaching during the day.
So at some point you went to college during this time.
Oh yeah. I went to Penn State. So yeah, it was wild, man. Like talk about culture shock, you know, growing up in Philly where like I never saw a white person.
So the Rakim of Nerdcore grew up never seeing white people.
Never. Not until college. My roommate, I think they were like, this is going to be instant immersion for you. A golf major will be your roommate. My man's a golf major. Like, talk about like just setting up for success. You're just like, I'm just here for a quick stop, and then I'm about to go be a millionaire. Like, what are we doing?
Did he go to the league?
I don't know. I hate him.
Oh, this is a diss cast.
I hate him. He was low key racist, but
he couldn't help himself.
Yeah, I mean, he couldn't help. He's from this small town with like 700 people, and I was like, oh man, I bet you never. Like, they did this to both of us on purpose. Like, they're like, oh, black dude from Philly, white dude from small town USA. Quick story, I tell a lot, but my friend Tariq is over at the room. We're just chilling, talking about rap or something, and he's in the back, like, has no idea what we're talking about. And he's like, what's your town name again? And he's like, he tells him, and he's like, I bet you don't know many black people, huh? He's like, nah, I don't. He's like, but I bet you've heard a racist joke before, right? And I was like, yo, what are you doing, man? Like, I got to stay in the room with this dude. Like, don't make this awkward. And he's like, I've maybe heard one. And he's like, let's hear it. He's like, all right, so, yeah, I think I heard one. Okay, so, yo, white women, when they're pretty, they get on the cover of Playboy. But where do hot black women go?
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, tell me.
No.
He said, National Geographic.
Oh, that's not even funny.
It wasn't even funny. I was like, oh, man. Okay. And so my boy is like chuckling. So he's on a roll. He's like, all right, so
No, he got warmed up.
He gives us his type 5. He's like, all right, so what did the little black kid get for Christmas? And I'm like, what? He's like, my bike. Ah! And I'm like, yo, like the tension, you can cut it with a knife, but this dude is rolling. He gives me like 4 or 5 more. And I'm just like, oh my God, I hate you.
Oh my God.
But, we asked for it in this situation. I should have diffused. I should have stopped this whole thing. But
what was Tariq thinking?
I don't know.
And this guy's never met anybody named Tariq. He's never even heard the name Tariq.
Never.
And that's like a common name.
Very common in the black community, especially in the East Coast. But we have a sick sense of humor. So I laugh at racist humor, like, all the time, like, And so I chuckled a few times, but it was just like, how many of these, like, from, I guess I know one to like, here's 45 of them, coming out in my book this summer.
Yeah.
Like, this dude's probably, so I even asked him, like, yo, what does a golf major do? He's like, well, you play golf, but also you learn how to run country clubs. So you're going to either be a professional golfer or you're going to run a country club. So he's probably doing one or the other right now.
Oh, I got to find this dude.
But anyway, college, I was not an MC. It wasn't no random, wasn't no Mega Ran. I was just trying to not flunk out and make my mom angry. Yeah, college wasn't really for me. So I was just trying to keep my head above water. Like, I was taking history courses, and I was taking a lot of African-American history courses because they counted towards my major. And once I got towards almost graduating, they were like, you have enough credits to be an African-American history major as well, like a double major. And I was like, oh, that sounds dope. All right, so cool. So it's history and African-American studies were my 2 majors when I graduated. And I was like, what can I do with that? And they were like, teach. That's really it. You could be a teacher. And so I started teaching in Philly after that.
When you said not trying to upset your mother, and some people like have the pressure of a parent that is like, a lot of black kids or, even just poor kids, like when your parents say, just go to school, there are kids who are more privileged who are like, they're like, go to school, get straight A's, and become a doctor.
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
that's
for
it.
a lot of black kids, you're the first person in their family they're like, hey, bro, just go to school.
Just go to
and
school.
You don't realize how that's a little privilege. We don't have a lot of privilege.
It's a little privilege. Wow, that's interesting.
Like, as long as you finish, but there's no pressure on you to be a specific thing or to meet the standards that your dad had. Well, you got a letter and you got to be summa cum laude or whatever. You got to join this fraternity. You're a pioneer. So everything you do looks great to your family back home.
Get C's, just get through.
Just get through. Because they're not going to say, well, when I took intro to,
Yeah, no, you're right.
And it's like, so you're like, I was a dentist? I know. I'm going to be a journalist. I know. Well, I'm going to be now I'm a teacher. And your mom is probably ecstatic, like tears.
She's happy.
When you graduated, was it a big deal?
Oh, yeah, that was huge. Because like I said, it was some close calls, man. It took me 5 years because I was just like, I was struggling.
Man, congratulations and thank you for sharing that and thank you for not giving up, man, because Yeah, you don't get a lot of credit for that. Like, you just get a degree. You have the same degree as a white kid or whatever, a kid that came from privilege.
Yeah.
But you had to fight a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, man, that's awesome.
It's pretty wild to think about it. But yeah, it was college was tough for me, man. Like I think about it all the time, like, man, like people think about college being the best time of their lives and they made these friends for life and they were socializing. And like, but once I realized like I was in a whole different game, different world, I was like, I have to lock in and I got to figure this out, because if I go back to the block, my mom is never going to let me hear the end of it.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So
you get the degree.
Got the degree, yay!
And then now you're like, I want to be a rapper again.
And then I was like, now, fuck the degree. Yeah, the same. At night, I was doing shows, doing open mics, doing whatever I could. But during the day, I was teaching and still putting out records, just hanging out, just doing what I could to make music.
Were there open mics in Philly, or are you back in Philly? You're back in Philly?
Yeah, I'm back in Philly. There was The Gathering, was just, I don't know if you're familiar with The Gathering.
No.
This is down like 40th and like Market. Pretty legendary thing. I think it still goes on. Where it was just like survival of the fittest. Just a bunch of MCs got together and just freestyled. We battled. We'd play new songs. We'd, open mic it, and it was really a proving ground to kind of learn this, like learn the craft. And it would happen at this spot called the Rotunda on University of Penn's campus. And man, it was just a really good moment, like to be there like every Tuesday or Wednesday where we would just hone our craft together. And so I'm making raps and I'm knowing like my stuff sounds different. Like I'm not cussing. I'm not talking about being the toughest, talking about pulling all the baddest chicks. I don't know if this is going to fit in, because at this time in Philadelphia, the Jay-Z effect is happening where Jay-Z's, Rockefeller kind of swarmed Philadelphia. Where, there's Freeway, Beanie Siegel, the Young Guns. Like everybody sounded like them. Like you had to sound like
even
that.
Jay-Z.
Even Jay-Z, I'll die on that hill that he stole.
Hey,
Young
bro.
Chris Flow.
Hey, bro.
And yeah, so everybody had the Philly swag. Like everybody kind of wanted that. And so if me being this kind of nerdy dude, using big words and, references to games or whatever, or I just kept thinking this is not going to work. But honestly, it was Kanye who kind of let me think like, oh, dang, maybe there's a chance for this like everyman rap to kind of be a thing. And then I find your music. I find so many folks where I'm like, oh, like just being a regular dude can work and rap. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm just getting more confidence in what I'm doing. And then I put out my first record and things go well. And people started digging it. My mom was like, oh, that's my favorite song, And that worked out. And then I took a break, was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do for another album. I don't even know if I'm gonna make another album. And so I started playing video games again. I was like, now I can play some games. And I find emulators. I find all these retro titles that I'm able to
So when do you
access.
come back to video games?
This is 2006, 2007.
So 2006, 7, you come back. When in the year you came back to rap was?
Put out my first record, 2005, first album.
Did you get right back into rap right after college, or what sparked your return?
I guess I was writing stuff and I felt like, I was making beats. That's what I was doing. I was making beats. I was like, I'm going to be random beats. I'm going to be a producer. And I was making beats on my PlayStation, ironically, with the MTV music generator.
Yeah, I got a lot of people.
So many people started off on that.
Is this in college or after?
After college, right after. Because I took a part-time job because teachers get paid so much that, you just want more and more money. So I took a part-time job at GameStop. And so I was like, oh, I get back into games now. So I get my new systems and all that. And then somebody brings in music generator to trade. And I was like, oh, let me cop that off you. So I bought it and I'm sitting at home trying to make beats. And next thing you know, I kind of figured it out. And I was sampling, again, just the life coming back to me. The only CDs we had, because you could sample. You could pop a CD into the PlayStation and sample. And so the only CDs we had at GameStop were game soundtracks. So I would sample game soundtracks, like whether it's Final Fantasy, Resident Evil, Zelda. So again, video games and hip hop, like it was there for me. Like it just kept coming back. And so I'm making these beats. I'm sampling games. I'm not telling people I'm sampling. I'm not telling people I'm using a PlayStation to make them. And other artists are buying these tracks. There's an artist named Journalist out of Philly who had a deal with Motown. Got on a couple of my tracks.
You were getting placements before you even knew what placements were.
I didn't know what they were, And
this is 02, 03?
This is 02, 03. Some of my homies were like, yo, I got this homie. He's working on an album. He's working on a demo. So I was just beats everywhere, like hotcakes. And
How much were you getting for a beat?
Maybe $100. You know,
all right, that's big butt. Like, you know, do times the inflation plus Trump.
Yeah. With inflation, that might be like 1,000 these days. But yeah, I was getting like $100 a beat, and just
and teaching and working at EB
and teaching and EB. Yeah, multiple hustles. You know how I go.
That Philly hustle. Let's go.
How to hustle. So yeah, I'm working on so much stuff, and then I get a guy at a studio was like, "Yo, do you want to come in and learn how to engineer?" And I was like, well, yeah. He's like, yo, but you'll be my in-house engineer, and you can also like shop your beats on the side, you know, but give us a cut. And I was like, all right, I'll move it up to 125.
Once again, that's the Philly get mobster.
Yeah. He had to cut me in.
I need a piece of the action.
I had to give me a piece. So I gave him a piece of the action. And so Random Beats was born. I was like, you know, slinging the beats. I was engineering. But in the meantime, I would record my demo. I was recording my raps, and I was like, nobody's ever going to want to hear this. It's me talking about how I hate working 3 jobs. It's me talking about how my girl's on my back. You know, like every man raps. And no, I was like, nobody wants to hear this. And then I hear the Kanye record. I hear other folks. I'm like, oh, well, maybe, you know. And with the birth of MySpace, a little after that, I was like, all right, I'll start putting these raps up. And they did okay, but it didn't really turn up for me until I went back to video games. You know, I start playing games again. I sample, I put them out. And then that blew up on MySpace. It was IGN who did a review, and they posted my Mega Man songs.
Okay, so you're selling video game beats. You put out your first album. Do you use any of the video game beats on the call?
I did not. No.
So these are still two separate worlds.
Two separate worlds. This is me making like a common sense Talib Kweli, Mos Def type album. It's very backpack, spiritual rap.
When did you hear Frontalot? Now we can combine the two histories.
Ah, okay. So I think I hear Frontalot in maybe after that album is 06. 07, I make one Mega Man rap called Grow Up. And I was already making the beats anyway, and I played Mega Man 2 again. Like I said, I went back to video games. I got a PC finally, and I was like, oh, emulators. I could play any of my old games. Mega Man 2. I put it on. I play Woodman Stage, and the music just takes me back. And I'm humming lyrics to it as I'm playing. And I was like, all right, well, I need to write this. And so I write it. I sample it on Reason. I was making beats on Reason. I put it out on MySpace. One song.
I just can't seem to grow up. I said I just can't seem to grow up. But you know what? What? I don't think I want to. I just can't seem to grow up. I said I just can't seem to grow up. But you know what? What? I don't think I want to. Okay. I was a youngin', maybe 7 or 8, when I was up late playing games 4 hours straight. Babysitter on the couch trying to get a freak on. I'm passing level after level thinking I'm a beat pong.
People were like, this kind of sounds like nerdcore. Like I started searching because I was like, is there like video game rap? This has to be a thing. And no one's done it. Video game rap. I'm searching the internet to find a community, to find somebody. And so I find an album by a guy named YT Cracker. YT Cracker. All one word. And it's called the NES, Nerd Rap Entertainment System. This album came out in 07 probably. He samples Nintendo beats, and he's talking about being a hacker. So turns out YT is because he's a white hat hacker. He is a white dude, and he calls himself Cracker as what a hacker calls themselves, a cracker. So he's a professional hacker. Like this guy, when he was young, got in trouble for defacing NASA's website.
Oh, this guy's a legend.
He was on like 60 Minutes when he was like 12 for like drawing dicks on the NASA website.
This is like Tupac. Yeah. Like this is like
yes, he's the Tupac of nerds.
He's the real, really with all the bullshit. Like I shot a cop.
Yes, this is him shooting a cop, him defacing NASA's website. So yeah, dang, that's a really good point. I think he has Nerd Life on his stomach too.
Really?
I think he knows he's the Tupac of Nerdcore.
So we got a Rakim, we got a Kool Herc.
Yes, and we got a Tupac. Because he's definitely the bad boy. But man, this album is dope. He's sampling these tracks, and he has one song called Mega Nerd where he samples Mega Man.
My handle is the Whitey Cracker, the progenitor of all the nerd rap that you're hearing today. There was a time in my life when the ladies didn't dig me. I didn't get laid, and I didn't have a big screen. Now they line up to see me, asking for a freebie. Cool down, be less needy. We're a little greedy. Back in the day when no one cared, sitting in our basements, face it, hacking on computers, disassembling stuff. Paid off in the end, now who got it rough? The beauty of the bond in the world of the switch. Make a new generation of us geeksters rich. We own those that made fun of us, tried to make a run at us, beat us up in class, said, yeah, there's a ton.
It's literally talking about being a nerd. The whole song is like, oh man, like nobody liked me growing up, and now I'm hacking into computers. I'm learning. I went to that because I couldn't make a friend, and now I'm making money. You know, now nerds are running the world. And it was like my mantra. This is the life of a mega nerd, baby. And I was like, oh, this is cool. And that's when I heard the term nerd rap for the first time. And so I didn't know Frontal I had Nerdcore. I didn't know MC Chris was doing this thing. I didn't have cable. I didn't know, Adult Swim was happening. And so Whitey Cracker was my cool herd. And so I hit him up. It's like, yo, let's do a song together or something. So I get him on this Mega Man project that I'm working on. What inspired me was the Cocoa Brothers song, Super Brooklyn. That was one of the first things I found. Nintendo raps.
ST, what I represent. NY, hold it down for my peeps in the Ville and do or die for the record, let it be known. Chrome conceal, and any one of these niggas can blow your grill. Show your skill. You want more? Hold your steel. You want more? Unload text. You all can feel. Raw deal. You all peel. Run for the hills. Run for your chills. The battlefields blasting that will. Smoke dog, you know my name out. Be the same till the day that I'm laid down. Niggas push me to the point. Got a spray round.
So I say that in like a MySpace blog, like, man, like, is anybody doing anything like this anymore? The Cocoa Brothers joint. And I get a message from Domingo, the producer from the Bronx. Turns out he produced that, and he made a whole entire record of video game songs.
Shout out to Domingo.
Shout out to Domingo, an underrated, legendary producer. Big Pun, KRS-One, so many people. And he was like, I actually did a whole album like this, but we did it so low key that I can't like say it was me. Like I never put my name on it or nothing. It was a white label. It just came out. And we made up a record label and called it Yo Sumi Records. Yo Sumi.
What an amazing Japanese word.
And so we talk, and he winds up making me a beat for the first Mega Ran album. So he did a track on there called Rock and Roll. He produced it.
We gon' rock like stop like two. We got it locked tight, hot like cruising through the stoplight. That's right. Roll hard, go hard, oh God, oh squad. Buy you every minute like a prepaid phone card. Rock like stop like two. We got it locked tight, hot like cruising through the stoplight. That's right. Roll hard, go hard, oh God, oh squad. Buy you every minute like a prepaid.
And so I was like, I think we're like, I'm getting it. It's like hip hop cred, video game cred. Like we might be able to do something special with this. I put the album out in June to match with Mega Man's 20th anniversary because it came out June 87. So this album came out June 07. The IGN posts it and I'm like, oh no, I don't think I wanted this because I have no like, he just told me, yo, sue me, and he didn't put his name on stuff. And now my name's on it. And now it's on the biggest game site in the world. That evening, I get a message from Capcom in my like DM on MySpace with a big C. And like, hey, RE, this Mega Ran album. And I'm like, oh, shoot, it's going down.
They're taking my house.
Guy's like, hey, we just heard this Mega Man rap album. This is really interesting. And the guy's like skips a bunch of lines and is like, oh, don't worry. This isn't a cease and desist. Like, we actually love this. Like, yo, we F with this heavy.
Shout out to Capcom with the vision.
They saw the vision, man. So they have this division of Capcom called Capcom Unity, like community. And so they would highlight fan art. You know, like, oh, when people draw pictures of Mega Man or pictures of Street Fighter or whatever, we put it on our website to profile and to give those people a platform. And I was like, yeah, fan art. That's exactly what this is. This is definitely not me ripping y'all off. Like, fan art. And and they're like, cool, you want to do an interview on our website? I was like, yeah. And then this is June. So they're like, you know what? We got a big booth at Comic-Con. Do you want to be a special guest at Comic-Con this year? I was like, what? Like, I had never been. I had just moved out west from Philly. So, and I remember Stan Lee talking about Comic-Con and every, like in the comics and just like being so excited about it, but I've never been. And my first time I go is as a guest of Capcom, which was super dope. They were like, man, this album's blowing up online. Like, you should come sign autographs and I'm like, sign autograph? Like, I just went from like this little known rap guy who like, is thinking nobody's ever going to want to hear these raps to like, oh, this thing's blowing up. You should come sign autographs for an hour. And I was like, wow. So I go there in 2007 and sign autographs and hang out. And then from there, they're like, we're secretly working on a new Mega Man game. Would you like to be a part of it? And I'm like, yeah. And so they kind of sneak me an early copy of the soundtrack. And they're like, if you want to flip one of these and do what you do with it, like, well, we can't like officially put you in the game, but we'll definitely like promote this. And I was like, oh, thanks, man. So Capcom looked out. I made a song called Splash Woman. Splash Woman's still one of my biggest songs.
That is a motherfucking slap. Bro, seeing you perform that.
Oh, it's fun. We do a little wave with everybody. It's such a fun time.
Man, I can't just describe it to you, man. It's up there with just like one of the best rap performers. You're one of the best performers in the game.
Again, my name is Mega Ran. Thank you all. Make sure you're like, if you're enjoying yourself, make some noise. Yeah. Now, it takes place underwater, so what I'm going to need you to do is everybody put a hand up. Yeah. Somebody here make a wave like this. Yeah, make a wave like that. Yeah, make a wave, but only do that for the chorus. Yeah, this is a mission, not a small time thing. Got me on the case like I'm Sherlock Holmes. My dog got a messed up from what I've been seeing, what I've been hearing. Got me not knowing what to believe in.
Through all this journey, God was working, if you believe in God or the universe, whatever you believe in. You think two things are separate, but he's preparing you for where you really need to be.
Yeah.
And then you found your community. It was Cap community that reached out and like put you into this. And you were searching for community, is there anyone else like me? And yes, there is. My mom always said, at Groundwaves, I always tell them too, there's a stump for every rump. You know what I mean? That's what my mom grew up saying.
I love that.
That's why I don't let people don't boo somebody because they do drill music. Don't boo somebody because they're doing nerdcore. Boo them because they suck.
There you go.
You know what I mean? And they're not preparing. They're not putting their all into it. But you were putting your all into it, and you eventually found your community because you just stayed authentic. Like we started geeking out, because it still hasn't led to wrestling for you.
Oh yeah, we didn't even get to that.
You know what I mean? And like it's led to wrestling for us. And like me and you finding each other and being like, yo, like we can talk. We talk to Big E. Like this is crazy. Like,
it's wild.
Like that's another thing too. Like I'm the first person to mention Pokemon. I'm the first person to have John Cena on the song in South Central. Like motherfuckers won't give me.
I think you need to make flowers for Murs.
Like, no, but I just want the
song.
nerdcore community not respecting me. That's the one that gets me.
I don't like when you say respect. I think they absolutely respect you. Embrace is different. The respect is, come on, they respect
because they respect rappers.
Yeah, they respect cats who can rap. I think they're more intimidated by it than anything. I'm gonna write the book on Nerdcore. That may be one of my next book projects. I feel like
as a historian,
I'm very much into the history of it, and I know a lot about it. There's stories that won't be told any other way. You know what I mean? Like I said, there's a new audience. I just played the Nerdcore Party Con. This is their maybe 4th or 5th year they've done it, where it's mostly just YouTubers. And I had to tell them, hey, why isn't MC Frontline on this bill? And they're like, I didn't know he was still doing anything. Is he around? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, let me connect y'all. And so they put him on this year. They're doing sold out venue shows, as a festival where it's just 22 straight YouTube rappers killing it. You know what I mean? And so to a packed room. And so they need to understand the history of it. And that's me. I'm like the link to the past in that regard.
Because you're still respected by the new people. Because,
they look at me like I invented it. And I'm like, no, you need to know those guys. They invented it.
That's dope, man. I'm really glad you're plugging Frontline in. And I want to expose more nerdcore because I think there's still kids, unfortunately, that are on the hip hop side thinking it's a separate thing.
Yeah.
And I want them to know that you can be dope and you do need to be the standard for nerdcore. Because I've seen it happen with Christian rap where they think like they make the standard somebody corny. And then it made a lot of dope rappers ashamed to be Christian rappers.
Yes.
And if a whack motherfucker becomes the standard of nerdcore, but I'm glad they're respecting you as an OG because then you're setting the bar. You are a complete master of the craft.
Thank you.
So thank you for your time.
Of course.
A lot of this information about your come up is available in a book. What is the book called?
Yes. There is a book called Dream Master, a memoir that I wrote. It's kind of my pandemic project. Sat down, put a bunch of stories together that I've been writing for so long about my come up from the past, the present, and future and beyond.
Check that out and then plug your child album.
Oh, Hey, it's Buddy's Magic Treehouse. This is my second kids album. It's hip hop, it's a little jazz, a little ska, a little bit of everything. It's a real fun record. I think y'all enjoy it. It is wherever you get your albums streaming. The vinyl is, I think, coming like any day now. So, yeah, go get that. Buddy's Magic Treehouse.
Thank y'all.
Peace. Peace.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Groundwaves Podcast. If you are in Chicago, once again, please come check us out this week. And we're going to end this, if you're still listening, I got something I want you to listen to. This artist will be performing with us this week, Zion Ali. He performed at our pilot event in October. He had so much energy. He brought the crowd to life. And he specializes in doing things in the community, especially for the youth. So we had to have him kick off Groundwaves Generations this month. And this is his newest song, Hero of My Story. Make sure you give him a follow on social media, and also make sure you give us a like or subscribe or rate or review. I need to know what you're liking and what you're not, or just that you're listening. And while you're listening, once again, this is Zion Ali, Hero of My Story.
Hey, Zion.
Lord, forgive me for my sins. Turn up with my friends. Coming back next Sunday, I'm gonna tell them once again. I've been trying to find the light. I stumble now and then, trying to smile through the fight. My love come from him. Whoa, life like playing with jump rope. Why people act so cutthroat? Don't fake love like stop, bro. Turn L to M like Smash Bros. Boxing the devil like Rambo. I'm gonna stop like Thanos. I like green like camo, but I love God like Chicago. Ain't no stopping me now. Some people felt like giving up. Ditto, but he's the hero of my story. Ain't no stopping me now. Some people felt like giving up. Ditto, but he's the hero.
Thanks for tuning in to the Groundwaves Podcast. If today's episode inspired you, please leave us a rating or review on Apple or Spotify. It'll help other folks like you find the show. If you're an MC or producer looking for a place to develop your craft and connect with real community, check out groundwaveshiphop.com or follow at groundwaveshiphop on IG. Don't forget to subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. Until then, keep creating, exchanging ideas, and loving on each other. And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace. Peace.